Chloe leans against the freshly sanded doorframe in her attic studio, fairy lights twinkling like slow fireflies. A faint scent of sawdust and linseed oil lingers in the air. Her fingers trace the smooth wood where the hinge used to squeak. Her voice is low, husky, still echoing with the click of a latch that no longer sticks. You guys will never believe what happened. I'm Chloe, no last name. Just the girl who paints Cresthaven's secrets onto canvas. And this story? It started with a door that wouldn't close, a man who made hinges sound like foreplay, and a repair that took 3 hours and left everything wide open. It was one of those gray Cresthaven mornings where the lake hides under mist and the air smells like wet cedar and possibility. The front door of my apartment had been sticking for weeks, swollen from humidity, groaning like an old confession every time I tried to shut it. I'd posted on the local board at 8:47 a.m. Handyman needed. Front door sticks. 1 hour max, cash paid. Bring coffee, Everett replied in under 20 minutes. Retired Finnish carpenter. Can be there by 10. Black coffee, 2 sugars. His profile pic was him planning a board in a sunlit workshop, sleeves rolled high, green eyes focused on the grain. He looked capable, quiet, older. I hired him on the spot. He showed up at 9:58 a.m., 2 minutes early, carrying a toolbox that clinked like wind chimes and 2 paper cups steaming in the chill. Black, 2 sugars, he said, handing me mine. His fingers brushed mine, deliberate, warm. Figured artists run on caffeine and deadlines, I laughed. You're not wrong. He set his tools down, plane, chisel, sandpaper, a tiny bottle of oil, and got to work. I tried to paint. I really did. But the studio filled with the scent of sawdust, lemon oil, and him, cedar, coffee, something earthy from the workshop, and I found myself watching. He moved like he'd done this 1,000 times. Steady strokes. No wasted motion. The plane glided over the door's edge in perfect, even passes, shaving curls of wood that fluttered to the floor like golden snow. Every scrape revealed fresh grain, transformed rough to silk. Flash of thought. This is what I paint. This exact moment when resistance meets release and something new is born. Hey guys, I murmured to the camera, voice thick with sawdust. Spicy portion incoming, hit subscribe. I turned back to him. He was on his knees now, oiling the hinges, flannel shirt stretched across his shoulders, sleeves pushed higher to reveal forearms corded with quiet strength. I swallowed. Focus, Chloe. He glanced up, green eyes crinkling. You always watch repairs like you're memorizing them for a still life? Heat flooded my cheeks. I'm not. You are, he said, voice low and amused, not looking away. It's okay. I'm flattered. The air shifted. Thicker, warmer, dangerous. I busied myself with a canvas, but the brush strokes were shaky. He kept working. I kept watching. He sanded the jam, slow, deliberate dust rising in soft clouds that caught the light. His hands were sure, caul oused, dusted with gold. I imagined those hands on my hips, my throat, my everything. The thought sent heat pooling low in my belly. He tested the door, opened, closed, opened, each swing smoother than the last. The hinge no longer groaned. But something else did. The tension coiled, tight, electric. Every scrape of sandpaper. Every drop of oil. Every curl of wood that fell at his feet. It was torture. Beautiful, exquisite torture. He stood, slow, deliberate, toolbox in one hand, rag in the other. Walked toward me, closer, closer. Until he stood in the doorway, filling it, the repaired door framing him like a portrait. I looked up. He looked down. The space between us shrank to inches. I could see the sawdust in his hair, the faint scar on his thumb, the pulse in his throat. His hand twitched, like he wanted to touch. Didn't. Yet. I stepped forward, slow, asking until we were chest to chest. Our bodies almost touched. I could feel the heat radiating from his skin, the faint vibration of his breath. My breath hitched. His eyes dropped to my mouth. He reached past me for the coffee cup on the table, close enough to feel his arm brush my breast, his hip against mine. His voice dropped to a gravel whisper. What color am I? Burnt umber, I whispered back, throat dry, with flecks of gold, and a hint of sawdust where the shadows pool. He smiled, slow, dangerous. And you? Cadmium red, I said. Straight from the tube. No apologies. No filter. His fingers grazed my wrist, barely there, but electric. Lingering. Intentional. Red's bold, he said. Dangerous, I corrected. His thumb traced my pulse. Slow, deliberate, counting heartbeats. I like danger, silence. The kind that breathes. The kind that begs. I tilted my head, just enough. Stay for coffee? He didn't move. Only if you let me pour. Deal. We moved to the kitchen, choreographed chaos. He poured. I watched. Every tilt of the pot, every shared glance, charged. He handed me the cup, fingers over mine, lingering. Our shoulders touched, stayed. You know, he said, voice rough, this door needed more you. I smiled, slow, wicked. How much is that? He set his cup down. Pulled me closer, slow, deliberate. Our hips met. I wrapped my arms around his neck, instinct, need. Felt him everywhere. Perfect, I whispered against his ear. He smiled, slow, sure. Told you. Extended moment, we lingered. Hours. Talking in murmurs between sips. About the workshop he lost. About the wife who taught him to see beauty in grain. About the canvas I keep hidden under the bed. The one that's just red. Raw, titled Want. About the way silence can be louder than sandpaper, and how some mornings feel like pauses between heartbeats. Every confession pulled us closer. Every laugh sealed it. I traced the scar on his thumb, old, from a chisel. He traced the paint on my wrist, cadmium red, still wet from earlier. You're a mess, he said. Your kind of mess, I replied. He smiled. Good, we played a game truth for truth. He admitted he'd watched me paint through the window once, just for a minute, and felt like an intruder. I admitted I'd left my curtains open on purpose that night. He admitted he still sets 2 cups out every morning. I admitted I'd started painting the door because it reminded me of his hands in the sunlight. We drank coffee, cold now, but perfect. We laughed until our sides hurt. We stood hip to hip, then chest to chest, then closer. I showed him the hidden canvas. He didn't flinch at the raw red. He just said, it's beautiful. It's you. Final moment, the door was fixed. Swinging smooth, sun high. We stood in the doorway, lingering, breathless. He brushed a curl of sawdust from my hair, slow, reverent. You left it open, Chloe. I leaned in, just enough. Good. Let it stay. Chloe winks at the camera, fairy lights flickering like sawdust in sunlight, and that's how fixing the door became entry, and entry became us. Cresthaven's got a way of making repairs spark, doesn't it? Like subscribe, ring the bell. Chloe's dangerous desires just got unlocked.